In a world where convenience has replaced tradition, where meals come in plastic packaging and wardrobes are refreshed every season, modern women often find themselves juggling comfort with rising costs, stress, and endless noise. Yet, tucked away in quiet communities, Amish women live lives that are at once harder and simpler, but filled with lessons modern women could truly benefit from. Their daily rhythms, rooted in self-reliance, humility, and endurance, offer a blueprint for living that is sustainable, frugal, and deeply fulfilling. The first lesson modern women can draw from Amish women is the art of self-sufficiency. Instead of relying on supermarkets, Amish women preserve their own meat, grow their own vegetables, and ensure that their pantries are stocked with food that will last through the harshest winter. Meat preservation, for example, isn't just about survival. It's about control. They salt, smoke, and can meat to stretch every cut, ensuring nothing goes to waste. Compare that to modern households where half the groceries spoil in refrigerators, and you begin to see the wisdom in their ways. Learning how to preserve food the Amish way doesn't just save money. It reconnects women to the power of managing resources with skill and foresight. Another essential practice is growing vegetables at home. Amish women tend gardens not as hobbies, but as lifelines. Rows of potatoes, carrots, beans, and tomatoes provide fresh meals in summer and canned reserves for winter. For modern women, even a small balcony garden can reduce dependency on overpriced produce. The lesson here is clear. Every seed planted is a step toward independence and resilience. When you eat what you grow, you save money, avoid chemicals, and gain a sense of accomplishment that store-bought food can never provide. Alongside gardening, Amish women maintain chickens at home for eggs and meat, a practice that modern households, especially in suburban and rural areas, could easily adopt. Feeding chickens doesn't require expensive supplies. The Amish make use of food scraps, grains, and natural foraging, turning waste into nourishment. For them, chickens are not just livestock, but part of a cycle that provides fresh eggs daily, rich meat occasionally, and fertilizer for gardens. In a modern setting, backyard chickens could easily replace expensive cartons of eggs, cutting grocery costs while giving women a direct connection to the food they feed their families. But perhaps the most profound lesson is the way Amish women bear the difficulties of life without complaint. Their days are long, filled with hard labor, cooking from scratch, sewing clothes, caring for children, tending gardens, and managing households without electricity. Yet they approach these challenges with a quiet endurance and inner strength that modern women, often stretched thin by work and societal expectations, could learn from. Life will never be free of hardship, but the Amish show that hardship can be met with resilience instead of resentment, discipline instead of despair. These first lessons, meat preservation, gardening, chicken keeping, and enduring hardship, may seem basic, but they form the foundation of a lifestyle that is both sustainable and empowering. They remind modern women that strength doesn't always come from ease or technology. Sometimes it comes from rolling up your sleeves, trusting in your own ability, and embracing the work that keeps a family alive and thriving. Frugality, clothing, and the beauty of simplicity. Another area where Amish women shine is in their frugality and resourcefulness. In a world that constantly pushes modern women to buy more, new clothes, new gadgets, new beauty products, the Amish remind us that happiness doesn't come from consumption, but from careful stewardship. Amish women reuse, repurpose, and stretch every resource. A glass jar isn't trash. It's a storage container. A dress that no longer fits isn't wasted. It's cut and sewn into a child's skirt or a quilt square. This frugality is not deprivation. It's empowerment, a conscious decision to control money rather than be controlled by it. For modern women, learning to live with less doesn't mean living poorly. It means living wisely. One of the clearest examples of this wisdom is in clothing. Amish women don't chase fashion trends or spend fortunes trying to keep up. Instead, they create their own clothing, sturdy, modest, and practical garments meant to last. Dresses are sewn from strong fabrics, often handmade at home, and mended again and again until they truly wear out. Even scraps of fabric have a second life in quilts, aprons, or doll clothes. The lesson here for modern women isn't about copying Amish dress style, it's about valuing durability over disposability. In a culture where fast fashion leads to closets full of clothes that unravel after a season, adopting even a little of the Amish sewing and repair mindset can save hundreds of dollars a year while reducing waste. Amish women also carry forward the wisdom of natural remedies and self-care without excess. Instead of rushing to buy pills for every minor ache, they turn to herbal teas, salves, and time-tested home treatments. Chamomile for sleep, peppermint for digestion, comfrey for bruises. These are not old wives' tales, but centuries of trial and observation turned into practice. For modern women, who often feel over-medicated and overwhelmed, there is great value in rediscovering gentle, natural approaches. It doesn't mean rejecting modern medicine. It means balancing it with remedies that are affordable, safe, and rooted in nature. And then there's the beauty of simplicity itself. Amish women don't live surrounded by endless clutter, distractions, and noise. Their homes are modest, their possessions few, and their focus is on relationships, faith, and purposeful work. This doesn't mean their lives are easy, but it does mean their lives are clear. Without the constant chase for more, they live free from the stress of debt, the pressure of trends, and the emptiness of consumerism. For modern women, simplicity can mean carving out quiet spaces, resisting the pull of constant shopping, and choosing presence over possessions. Through their frugality, clothing practices, natural remedies, and simple way of life, Amish women model a kind of wisdom that is rare today. They show that you don't need the latest credit card purchase to be content. You need discipline, creativity, and the ability to find joy in enough. Family strength, community, and shared work. One of the greatest lessons modern women can learn from Amish women is their unshakable devotion to family. In today's world, family time often gets sacrificed for long work hours, endless commutes, and digital distractions. Meals are eaten on the go, conversations happen over text messages, and households feel like separate individuals living under one roof. But Amish women keep family at the very heart of life. Meals are taken together at the same table, prayers begin and end the day, and children grow up surrounded by parents, siblings, grandparents, and neighbors. It is a slower rhythm, but one that builds lifelong bonds. For modern women, prioritizing family over busyness, even in small ways like nightly dinners or weekend routines, can restore a sense of connection that our culture is losing. This deep connection extends to the community as well. Amish women know that no woman is meant to bear life's burdens alone. When a baby is born, neighbors bring food and supplies. When tragedy strikes, women gather to cook, sew, and comfort. Barn raisings, quilting bees, and church meals are not events. They are lifelines of shared labor and fellowship. Modern women, often isolated in urban apartments or suburbs where neighbors don't even know each other's names, could learn from this model. Building small circles of trust, supporting one another through shared meals, babysitting, or simply listening, can provide warmth and resilience far beyond what money or convenience can buy. Amish women also provide profound lessons in raising children with discipline, values, and purpose. In modern culture, Raising children often feels like a battle against screens, consumerism, and outside influence. Parents are pressured to entertain their kids constantly or shield them with expensive distractions. Amish children, however, grow up learning responsibility from the start. They help with chores, care for animals, work in the garden, and watch their mothers sew, cook, and preserve food. This early involvement builds not only practical skills, but also respect for hard work and family life. For modern women, including children in daily household responsibilities, rather than keeping them busy with gadgets, can instill confidence and responsibility that lasts a lifetime. Another vital lesson lies in partnership with husbands. Amish women and men have distinct roles, but they are deeply interwoven. A husband may build the barn, but his wife ensures the pantry is stocked with preserved foods to sustain the family. He may tend to the fields, but she manages the garden and livestock that feed the household daily. Rather than competing, they complement one another. For modern women, the lesson is not about giving up independence, but about embracing collaboration, recognizing that building a life together requires teamwork, compromise, and mutual respect. When roles are balanced, the home is not a burden on one person. It is a shared achievement. Amish women remind us that life's most important wealth is not money or status, but family bonds, community support, children who grow into capable adults, and marriages built on cooperation rather than conflict. These values, though hard-earned, create households that endure storms, whether literal or figurative, while many modern families break under pressure. Hard work, endurance, and quiet strength. Amish women teach modern women one of the hardest but most valuable lessons. Life is not supposed to be easy. While the modern world sells comfort at every turn, microwave dinners, delivery services, washing machines that do the labor, Amish women rise before dawn to cook for large families, wash laundry by hand or with simple wringers, preserve food for the winter, and tend both home and farm without shortcuts. Their lives are marked by hard work, yet they do not complain. Instead, they carry their responsibilities with a quiet endurance that is both humbling and inspiring. For modern women, who often feel overwhelmed by stress, even with all of today's conveniences, there is something deeply grounding in this approach. Difficulties don't disappear, but they can be faced with grace. This endurance is supported by homemaking as a craft, not a chore. Where modern society often treats cooking, cleaning, and sewing as drudgery to be avoided or outsourced, Amish women approach them as essential arts of survival. Bread baking is not just a task, but a ritual, filling the home with warmth and nourishment. Quilting is not just stitching fabric. It is an act of care that produces heirlooms lasting generations. Even cleaning, done without chemical sprays or electric gadgets, is a form of stewardship that keeps the home orderly and peaceful. The lesson here for modern women is clear. Homemaking, when embraced with pride and skill, can transform a house from a place of stress into a sanctuary of comfort. Food as survival, nourishment, and wisdom. If there is one area where Amish women shine brighter than almost anyone, it is in the way they handle food. For them, food is not just about filling plates. It is about survival, nourishment, stewardship, and gratitude. Every meal reflects hours of work, discipline, and knowledge passed down through generations. In a world where modern women spend fortunes on processed groceries, packaged snacks, and takeout, Amish women remind us that food prepared with patience not only sustains the body, but also strengthens the household. One of the most impressive skills is meat preservation. Amish women know how to stretch a single animal into months of meals. Meat is smoked, salted, canned, or dried so that nothing goes to waste. In the absence of freezers or electricity, these methods ensure the family remains fed even during the harshest winters. For modern women, learning even a little of this art, like pressure canning chicken, curing bacon, or making jerky, could cut down grocery bills and provide food security in uncertain times. Hand in hand with this comes vegetable gardening and preservation. Almost every Amish woman keeps a large garden filled with potatoes, carrots, cabbages, beans, onions, and tomatoes. During summer, families feast on fresh produce, but the real skill lies in what happens at harvest. Vegetables are canned in mason jars, dried, or stored in root cellars so they last until spring. Shelves lined with gleaming jars of pickles, preserves, and sauces are not just beautiful, they are proof of foresight. Modern women, who often rely on expensive produce year-round, could learn the satisfaction of eating from their own hands, even if it begins with a small herb box or tomato plant. Another lesson lies in the use of backyard animals. Chickens provide daily eggs, and any excess can be sold or traded. Goats or cows provide milk, which Amish women turn into butter, cheese, and cream. Nothing is wasted. Scraps go back to the animals, manure returns to the garden, and the cycle continues. This kind of food management is sustainable, cheap, and deeply empowering. For modern women, even raising a few chickens in the backyard or buying raw milk from a local farm can reconnect them with food in a way supermarkets never will. The Amish are also masters of cooking from scratch. Their kitchens are the heartbeat of the home, where bread rises in wooden bowls, soups bubble in heavy pots, and pies cool on windowsills. There are no processed shortcuts, no microwave meals, and no constant reliance on store-bought mixes. Every meal is a product of knowledge, effort, and care. For modern women, returning to scratch cooking, at least for staple meals, could not only save money, but restore health. Homemade bread, soups, and stews stretch farther, cost less, and bring families together at the table in a way fast food never can. Another powerful lesson is seasonal eating. Amish women do not demand strawberries in January or corn in March. They eat what grows when it grows, preserving the abundance for the off-season. This rhythm with nature ensures freshness, reduces waste, and teaches patience. Modern women, pressured by a globalized food market to have everything all the time, could find peace and balance in returning to the natural calendar of food. Eating seasonally means healthier meals and deeper gratitude for every harvest. And perhaps most importantly, Amish women remind us to treat food as sacred. There is no waste at their tables. Leftovers are eaten, scraps repurposed, bones boiled for broth, and breadcrumbs saved for future meals. Food is never taken for granted because it represents labor, sacrifice, and blessing. For modern women, who often toss half-empty containers or forget food in the fridge, this reverence is a powerful reminder. Food is life, and wasting it is wasting the work and resources that made it possible. Through preservation, gardening, animal husbandry, scratch cooking, seasonal eating, and a reverence for food, Amish women live in a way that is deeply sustainable and resilient. They teach us that the kitchen is not just a place of work, it is a place of power where the health, stability, and security of a family begin. Sewing, quilting, and the art of making do. If there is one thing Amish women excel at beyond measure, it is resourcefulness. In a world where modern women are pushed to buy new every time something wears out, Amish women live by a different code: make do, repair, repurpose, and stretch every resource. This philosophy is not only frugal, but also deeply creative, producing homes filled with handmade treasures and teaching families to value durability over waste. The most famous expression of this is sewing. Amish women make the vast majority of their family's clothing, often cutting and stitching dresses, trousers, and shirts by hand or with treadle-powered sewing machines. Instead of fast fashion that unravels after a season, their clothes are built for endurance, with sturdy fabrics and simple, timeless designs. When garments wear thin, they are patched and repaired. A dress might be let out for a growing daughter or cut down to fit a younger child. Fabric scraps are never thrown away. They are carefully saved for quilting. This practice teaches modern women that sewing isn't just a quaint hobby. It's a powerful way to save money, reduce waste, and build independence. Quilting, another Amish hallmark, carries its own lessons. These quilts are not only beautiful, but also practical, layered thick with cotton or wool to provide warmth through long winters. Each one tells a story, stitched together from fabric scraps, outgrown clothing, or worn-out garments given a second life. Quilts are heirlooms, passed down for generations, embodying both creativity and frugality. For modern women, quilting offers not just a way to stay warm, but also a reminder that beauty can come from reuse, and that even small scraps of life can be stitched into something enduring. Beyond sewing and quilting, Amish women are masters of repurposing. Glass jars from canned goods become storage containers for dried beans or nails. Old bed sheets may be turned into cleaning rags, aprons, or even braided into rugs. This habit of giving items multiple lives saves money and reduces dependence on consumer goods. Modern women, often encouraged to buy replacements rather than repairs, could learn much from this attitude of respect toward every object in the home. Amish homes also reflect a commitment to simplicity in decoration. Instead of filling rooms with store-bought knickknacks and mass-produced furniture, Amish women craft what they need. Curtains are hand-sewn, wooden furniture polished with care, and baskets woven for storage. The home feels warm and welcoming not because it is cluttered with excess, but because everything within it has a story and a purpose. For modern women drowning in clutter and consumer debt, there is freedom in this simplicity. To own less, but value it more. At the heart of all this is a philosophy: waste nothing, respect everything. In an age where millions of tons of clothing and household goods are discarded every year, Amish women remind us that resourcefulness is not only economical, but also ecological. For modern women, who face both rising costs and environmental concerns, adopting even a fraction of this mindset could create homes that are thriftier, simpler, and more meaningful. Through sewing, quilting, repurposing, and making do, Amish women prove that resourcefulness is not about living with less. It's about creating more value from what you already have. Faith, discipline, and inner strength. Perhaps the deepest lessons modern women can draw from Amish women have nothing to do with quilts, food, or gardens, but with the spiritual and emotional strength that sustains them through the hardest seasons of life. The Amish way of living is not easy. Winters are brutal, work is endless, and life is filled with hardships. Yet Amish women carry themselves with a quiet dignity, shaped by faith and discipline, that enables them to endure what many modern women would consider unbearable. At the core of this strength is faith. Amish women live with an unshakable trust in God's provision, even when circumstances are grim. Their days begin with prayer, their work is offered as service, and their hardships are endured with a sense that suffering itself can hold meaning. When illness strikes, when crops fail, when a child is lost, they lean not on self-pity, but on faith that sustains them. For modern women, often stretched thin by anxiety, stress, and self-doubt, this is a vital lesson. When life feels overwhelming, grounding oneself in faith, or at least in a larger purpose, can provide strength that possessions and conveniences cannot. Discipline is another key. Amish women do not wait for motivation to strike. They rise before dawn, complete chores in freezing barns, and cook for families without complaining. They do what must be done because it is right and necessary. This discipline, repeated daily, builds both physical and emotional resilience. In contrast, modern life often encourages instant gratification, making it harder to endure discomfort. Amish women remind us that true strength grows not from avoiding challenges, but from meeting them head-on, consistently, with steady resolve. Equally important is humility. In today's culture, where self-promotion and comparison are constant, Amish women live without the need to prove themselves through appearances, careers, or possessions. Their worth is not measured by beauty standards, social media likes, or career titles. It is measured by how faithfully they care for their families, communities, and homes. This humility frees them from the constant pressure modern women often feel to do it all or have it all. For modern women, learning to let go of outside validation and focus instead on meaningful contribution could ease much of the silent suffering caused by comparison. Amish women also embody inner strength in hardship. Without electricity, running water, or modern conveniences, their lives demand constant labor. They wash laundry in cold water, cook for families of 10 without microwaves or packaged meals, and keep homes warm through sub-zero nights with nothing more than firewood and quilts. And yet, they endure with grace. Where modern women might view such conditions as unbearable, Amish women see them as normal, even noble. Their lives prove that strength is not given. It is built through endurance, and it is always stronger than we think. For modern women, the lesson here is transformative. Hardship doesn't have to break you, it can shape you. By cultivating faith, practicing discipline, embracing humility, and finding meaning in struggle, it is possible to meet life's difficulties with dignity and peace. The Amish show us that strength is not found in comfort, but in courage,